January 31st, 2002 is when he moved out and we got a divorce. Our divorce was final September 13th, 2003. So 2.5 years. I get up at 5:23 because at 5:24 is when K-Frog, they do the news and they do the weather, and that's how I get my kids dressed every morning according to whatever they say on the weather. My daughter's 8, she'll be 9 in December. She goes to Boys and Girls Club, which is right down the street. And then my 2 boys, they're 4 and 2. And they go to a private daycare in Temecula from Sunday night at about 1 o'clock in the morning to about 2 o'clock Monday afternoon. They threw up, all 3 of them, in my car on the freeway.
Life for a single mother is just incredibly difficult. They're facing so many challenges in their life. They are oftentimes in financial distress. They oftentimes are carrying a lot of guilt because they're not being a good enough mother and they're not making enough money, and they just have this weight on their shoulders.
I am 42. I'm divorced. I've been divorced over 12 years.
Well, I've been a single mom for 8 years. I'm still a single mom.
I'm a single mom. My daughter's father has not been active in her life since she was 2 years old.
As a single mother, I'm wheelchair bound.
My husband passed away about 2.5 years ago, and I became a single mom, and my kids are really having a hard time dealing with it, and I used to too. I've kind of gotten through the worst of it.
"15 months ago, my children and I left Mississippi because of domestic violence, severe domestic violence.
I pretty much do it all. School, sports, church, everything.
I can't handle when Steffi gets sick. I mean, it's something that I go chaos. So being a single parent is hard for me when she gets sick or if she becomes like a problem.
Temecula is very expensive. Daycare is incredibly expensive. And so I rent a room from a friend of mine. My oldest daughter lives somewhere else because I can't afford the 3 of us to live together.
If the kids are sick, I need to worry about the days off of work and still making enough money to pay the rent and all the bills. And there's not that other person to share those responsibilities with.
Not being able to have the male influence as much as I'd like.
I have no backup. I have no second opinion. I have no wait until your dad comes home. Kind of. I think that for me is the most difficult part.
I read a piece of literature that said SMURF, and I laughed because everybody knows what a SMURF is. It's a blue little, like, Care Bear. Or I thought of SMURF, and when I read what it was, I went, oh, something for me. And I came with my children.
The SMURF ministry started in the fall of 2002, and we did a Thanksgiving and a Christmas program to get an idea of what the reaction would be to this type of a program. Well, in January of 2003, we started a weekly program where the girls come in with their children and we have child care for them. Then they have the last half hour, they were provided with a meal.
I've been involved with SMURF for about 1.5 years. I came in about the 2nd or 3rd Sunday that they had started. I was a single mother and raised children, and so I have kind of a tender heart for the program.
Whenever you're alone with a great big task like raising children, it's extremely valuable that you just want to be with somebody around that gives in personal ways.
I've seen a lot of new friendships formed between the moms who never knew each other before, and I think that's really important because years ago I was a single mom, and I know one of the hardest things to do is find other single moms to spend time with. I think one of the most important things that happens at SMURF is nobody's ever asked why they're a single mom. It's a safe place to be with people who are in similar situations.
SMURF has meant that I don't have to be alone. When you're a single mom, you just think that, oh my gosh, all these things are happening to me. Well, it's happening to other women as well.
I know that there are other people there who are sympathetic with single moms, that if I needed to pick up the phone and call somebody, I had somebody to call.
Just knowing that they're there makes a difference.
I love the fellowship. I love the interaction with the other women. I love the fact that my daughter can go there and play with other kids who really don't have active fathers in their lives, so she doesn't feel like she's the only one.
We provide a Sunday school program, fellowship, singing, dancing. We always do crafts. We listen to whatever they want to talk about. They have formed great friendships with each other. Some of the kids we have now are kids that were with us in the very beginning.
They see other kids who don't have a mom and a dad at home, and that's important.
My girls love coming here. And when I said today, I don't think I'm gonna go today, oh, they pushed until I got in that car and came anyway, so this is definitely an awesome place.
It's kind of funny when they learn that they go to school with each other and they start understanding they're in the same place, so they'll find each other on the playground at school and then come back and tell us that they have new friends at school now because of SMURF.
The SMURF ministry comes alongside these ladies and just provides a lot of TLC. Just loving them, accepting them as they are, empathizing with their struggles and their hurts.
This church does what the Bible says it's supposed to. It takes care of their own. You have a food pantry here. I've used it twice. Women really don't feel like they have a place to go with their kids, or they're embarrassed that they got divorced, or whatever the circumstances are. And you don't feel that way when you come here.
My situation as a single mother before SMURF was a very abusive situation. I became homeless. I got kicked out of where I was staying. I had 2 children with me at the time. I picked up a brochure at a corner liquor store. When I first came to the program, I was like in a shell and couldn't really talk to anybody. I felt like, oh my gosh, what are they gonna think of me and my situation, you know? I started realizing, just hearing different women talk about their situations, where it all comes together. They're all, in some ways, I can take a little bit out of everybody. The SMURF program has taught me how to be a better person, to set goals with my finances, with my children. SMURF has furnished my whole apartment. They helped me with some of my moving costs to my apartment. I think the biggest thing with my kids, especially for my oldest now compared to a year and a half ago, is she's more secure. She feels more secure. She feels more grounded that we have somewhere stable to go. She doesn't hear the yelling and the fighting and all the abuse. She doesn't see that. It's a really good feeling to know that I have somebody there that's just a listening ear, instead of taking it out on somebody or acting out of the anger and the frustration and stressfulness of being a single parent.
The purpose of this video is to build awareness for our Single Mothers Ministry, as well as to ask for financial help. SMURF has no paid staff and operates through dozens of volunteers and financial donations. These donations go directly to the mothers to provide their basic necessities of living, which could include food, items for their children, gas, and other living expenses. The SMURF ministry also provides help for our mothers in other critical areas, including spiritual support, housing assistance, resources in areas of psychological counseling, health issues, employment counseling, computer training, legal counseling, and financial counseling. We also provide assistance in parenting skills, life skills, and of course providing a fun environment for the single mothers and their families. One of the long-term goals for our Single Mothers Ministry is to provide clean, safe, and affordable housing for them and their families. Paying their rent is a struggle that many of these mothers deal with every single month. We want to be able to provide resources and support for them in this critical area. We trust that as you've seen this video, as you've captured the heart of the SMURF ministry, that you will be able to support us as we continue to provide care, support, resources, and a loving environment for these single mothers and their children.